Cartoons, the animated frontier. These are the voyages of the Cellcast podcast. Its continuing mission to explore strange new cartoons, to seek out new animation styles and new creative storytelling methods, to boldly go where so few ever go again. And now, starting this August, a new venture from the Cellcast podcast, the Cellcast, the animated series. Throughout the month of August, Jacob and Drew will review the animated series Star Trek Lower Decks as it releases on CBS All Access. Join us, because resistance is futile. The Cellcast, the animated series. Every Tuesday on your favorite podcast catcher. New show, same RSS feed. Hello and welcome to another episode of The Cellcast. Joining me today is a man who just really wants that frisbee, Jacob.
Yeah, it's my frisbee. Don't take it away from me. It's my frisbee.
Also, did you really just say growl?
Growl. What of it?
That's not very intimidating.
I'm rusty.
Fair enough. Anyway.
Why, thank you. Let me introduce our co-host. A man who just wants his grandson to be a vampire. Welcome, Drew.
He's a light fanger.
Apparently.
This is a horrible Transylvania accent.
Apparently.
Moving on. So, how are you doing, Jacob?
Man, I'm doing very well. Obviously, we're running a little late. That is on me. If you know anything about me, I get very distracted. You know, it's very common. I get distracted very easily. So I got
the dog and up was based on him.
Maybe squirrel. But I was getting ready. I just got my notes done for the podcast, which are here on my phone. And Inktober is coming around the corner, and that's where artists like me and others who draw will draw and ink over that and post it online and put a hashtag Inktober 2020. And they're themed, and I want to go with more of go by a list instead of something I make up, because more often than not, I can't keep to those. And plus the list they kind of give you it's very vague, and so you come up with some very interesting ideas. So Drew got a sampling what I sent him, and he's like, oh my gosh. Well,
admittedly, the angle he took the picture at, when it got to my phone, I looked at it and went, is that a ghost? Or
not quite.
Is that one of the guys from that new Among Us game that I killed Francisco in during last Friday night? I'm referring to Retro Rewind podcast because I was on their live. I was playing their live stream on his live stream of Among Us last Friday, and I killed him in the first chance I got.
Oh, poor Francisco. Oh, anyways, so yeah, that is the reason I have been late. I am late, so sorry. I'm going to apologize for that, but I'm not sorry for being creative. So
I would not expect you to apologize for your creativity.
Right. So, how have you been, my friend?
Oh, I've been doing fairly good. I did some streaming this weekend over at Cellcast Gaming.
Right.
So I started playing through Final Fantasy XIV, playing primarily through the main story quest, but I'm also doing all the side quests going up to that point.
Okay.
I've noted I am already severely over-leveled because since one of the items I have from my normal playthrough is account wide, I got the experience boosting earrings on.
Yeah.
So the MSQ says I should be somewhere around level 6 or 7.
Okay.
I'm at level 12.
Okay.
So I'm a little over-leveled.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit.
I may have to take that earring off for a bit. Yeah. But I'm still enjoying that. Now, I have uploaded all 3 of the streams I did this weekend to our YouTube channel. So if you want to catch up, go there. I will go ahead and apologize for the 3rd one not being able to hear me speak for about 40 minutes to an hour since I forgot to turn the mixer on.
It happens.
So, yes, forgive me for that. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with this as part of a bit of a creativity project. I'm wondering, since I'm trying to voice the characters that don't have speaking lines.
Yeah.
Or they talk, but there's no one voicing those
there's
lines.
There's no audio. Yeah.
Yeah. I am wondering if maybe I should go back and re-edit those with my voiceover. Especially the guy I had to speak like this because it was obviously a Scottish. Because they kept calling me a laddie.
That'd be very interesting. It'd be very interesting. I did want to bring up one little thing because I went and visited my parents, which I'm not going to tell you where they live because I don't want you stalking them.
South. They live south.
They live south.
That doesn't narrow it down at all.
Towards the Houston area. So,
I wasn't going that far.
There's a lot in Houston.
I just said south. That could be, I nearly said Carthage, Lufkin, Houston, Guatemala, anywhere from our town, Texas, until you get to Antarctica is south.
Yeah, that's true.
Then it's north.
Yeah, yeah, it's a loop. But either way, so I visited my parents, and then we went to town, and I was to be like, hey, I want to go to an antique shop. And so, obviously, for the
we like to call those thrift stores around here.
Thrift stores, antique shops, whichever.
It's a junk shop, no matter how you cut it.
Exactly. So, I want to buying a few little toys, because I'm starting a little toy collection. Little. I'm not saying I'm going to go,
You're saying it's a collection that's small, or a collection of small toys?
A small collection.
That hasn't narrowed it down. It's either a small collection of toys or a toy collection of small toys. Are they small toys? Are they big toys? Or it's just very few toys? Or is it
very
both?
few toys?
Okay.
Very few toys.
I'm being ornery, dude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, obviously. You think?
What's new?
Pussycat.
Boy, that's weeks old. I don't even think that made it into that podcast.
I think so. But
it'll be in this one, because I won't rank to delete that.
But I bought a few toys. You can go check them out on my small toy collection. My little toy collection. 82.
My little toy collection. Do 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 do.
Either way, you can check it out. It's on my Facebook, whatever, on Facebook and Instagram. Either way, I wanted to plug that because some reason I post a lot of toys that I see and everyone thinks I go and buy them. No, I do not. I saw a Buck Rogers original holster and gun set. I'm not spending $250 on a toy that's going to sit on a shelf.
That is very wise of you, sir.
Exactly. And I follow a lot of YouTube toy collectors, and good night, that's a lot of toys. Yeah. And that's a lot of money to spend.
And it all sits on the shelf collecting dust.
Exactly.
In fact, I'm thinking of getting ready to sell my dust collectors over there, so all except for Voltron. Voltron is staying.
Yeah, it's something that you enjoy.
Yes. Although I think I'm going to keep the 3 little yarn Yoshis because I think they make cool little ornaments.
Oh, okay. That is true.
Anyway.
Either way, so that is what I've been doing. So, go back to you.
Well, like I said, I did streaming. Mm-hmm. I watched this movie. Mm-hmm. And I found an anime that I had not watched since I was probably in junior high or high school. I don't remember exact year I watched it.
A little bit of a bigger wee lad?
Yeah, well, let's face it, I've always been a kid at heart. Just like you.
Exactly.
Do you remember a show that was on, I think it was on Toonami, and it would have been after Dragon Ball Z had really gotten big, but they hadn't really added much else?
Yeah.
It was pre-Gundam Wing, but after Dragon Ball?
Yeah.
A little show called Ronin Warriors.
Yes.
Did you know that's on Amazon?
Yeah, I've seen you watching it.
You saw me watching it.
Well, when we were doing review for...
Oh, yeah, because it was up on the thing.
It was on the things when we were...
Yeah. You were here. So, yeah, I watched a little bit of that, and, of course, we watched Lower Decks. Mm-hmm. We apologize for us being about a week behind. We're not catching up in time for the ending, so we will just be a week behind till it finishes.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and we are discussing what to do after that. I think we've talked about a 1-episode deal that we might do, but after that, we've not come up with a plan.
Maybe.
We do need to find something to keep us busy until the 1st of February.
Right.
Which we also need to actually finish that project.
Yes, we do. Oh my gosh. Yes.
But yes. That's essentially what I've been doing. So, what do we got in the news?
Or have you been watching?
I said what I was watching.
Oh, you want to see what I'm going to watch?
Well, what have you been watching? I thought you already talked about what you've been watching.
No, I haven't.
What have you watched?
Okay.
What have you watched? Tell me now.
Okay, if you insist. I've watched.
Boy, that peaked.
just a little bit. Wow. Either way, I've watched. I ordered Corpse Bride. Never watched it before. It was a very impressive film. Very impressive. We'll get it when we get around to. Obviously, if you watch.
Well, if you're on our Facebook page, you will see the schedule for October.
Yeah. So we will be reviewing Corpse Bride
next week.
And
I do plan before the end of the month to release our November schedule, so y'all can know what to watch before for then. And I'm going to try and keep a schedule going forward when we get back to dice roll months.
Yeah.
I will have the dice number that things are at, which means that will probably get updated weekly.
Excellent.
Which is fine because I have to update weekly for our records anyway.
Excellent.
That is the plan. Whether it actually happens or not is secondary.
I got you.
Plus, sometimes we'll say, hey, we ought to do this thing because we got a guest wants to come on. Okay, we'll interrupt the rolls.
All right, so I watched that, and then I watched Alien 3.
I'm sorry. And I'm saying this, folks. I'm not telling him that I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, folks, that I'm sorry that he watched Alien 3 because he let me know everything that was bad about that movie.
Pretty much.
I'm surprised when we did the review of the episode, he didn't talk about Alien 3 while we were doing it.
I have restraint. I've restraint.
Some
restraint.
I'll put it this way. I don't know when Alien 3 is going to pop up on the Movie of the Week podcast.
Yeah.
But it's not, you already know his rating. It's not going to be good.
Yeah, it's not.
I don't know. I haven't watched it because horror movies, even though this is not technically a horror franchise.
Technically, it's a horror sci-fi franchise.
Yeah, but still horror-esque movies are not what I usually go for. Yeah. But even though, well, I guess we're not really doing horror movies in October. They're just Halloween-themed movies.
Yeah, they're just Halloween movies.
Anyway.
Yeah. Either way, watch that. Not a fan of the movie. Just saying that. I'm going to let that.
I would never guess this.
No. So, yeah, that is what I have been watching.
All right, then what do you got in the news?
All right.
Oh, also, we both watched Captain Idiot.
That's right. They watched Captain Idiot. Very good series. By the way, you can.
While you're bringing up your news, I'll bring up my news.
Okay.
That is related to Captain Tyler.
Okay.
Did you know on YouTube, on the Nozomi YouTube channel, you can watch a lot of their anime that they are the distributors for, which Nozomi is RightStuff.com, if you've heard of that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Site. But Nozomi is their actual localization group, or Right Stuff is the selling point of Nozomi. I don't know.
Yeah.
Either way, they have a lot of their stuff on there, both dubbed and subbed.
Yeah.
And it's the complete series for free, and it's legal.
Wow. Okay.
And the one I'm going to suggest you go watch is The Irresponsible Captain Tyler.
Yeah.
Because that show is amazing.
And hilarious.
It might be my favorite anime, despite the fact I only discovered it last year.
Yeah. Didn't you buy it on Right Stuff?
Oh, yes. I got it right over there.
Blu-ray or DVD?
DVD, because I didn't want to pay $2,000 for the Blu-ray.
Jeez.
Now, that's the special edition that they're pre-ordering right now.
Yeah.
Hopefully, once the special edition phase is gone, they'll actually release a version that's affordable on Blu-ray.
$2,000. Wow.
But it's got all this extra junk.
Yeah.
Which is cool and all, but I don't need more dust collectors.
Yeah. Wow.
I am a nerd who hates dust collectors. That means I'm a bad nerd. Moving on.
Either way. That means you're a responsible nerd.
Unlike the Captain Tyler.
Exactly. All right, so getting into info and stuff. All right, so you can.
We're not on info and stuff. That's in the review.
Thank you. We're on news.
We're on news.
Thank you. Sorry. Either way. All right. So back in the news. All right. So
Leaving that in.
So G Kids with TMS Entertainment and Phantom Events announced Monday that they will be bringing Lupin the Third, the first, to select theaters nationwide for two nights only, October 18th and October 21st of 2020. Fans will be looking forward to watching the latest standalone adventures, the stories of Lupin the Third franchise at home. Can also accommodate a rollout home entertainment platform later this year, with date to be announced shortly. So, if you want to watch it, go watch Lupin the Third, the first. The trailer looks amazing. It looks and sounds like Lupin the Third.
And if you don't want to wait for Lupin the Third, the first, which admittedly is a very confusing name,
Yes,
go check out Lupin the Third: The Castle of Cagliostro on Netflix.
yes,
It is over there, and it is good there too.
yeah. And also, if you want to
And then go listen to our review of it at the beginning of November last year,
yes,
which was the first one with our current review format.
yeah, really,
Yeah.
okay.
Because remember, we were still doing our old format up until the end of October, I believe. That was also back when we were still doing our Claw Scooby skit at the end.
That's right. I missed that.
Yes, but the problem with it was we didn't think about it. Actually, weren't trying to come up with something until the end. So the last half hour of every recording is a lot of us going,
Yeah,
what if we know? Okay, I think I'm there.
Yeah. So, all right. So we so Lupin the Third, the first is coming to theaters. If you want to watch it, go watch it. Find a select theater. It's in sub and dub. So find a theater, because sadly they only have
It's a limited showing because of...
Yeah, it's a limited showing.
Well, that's just because what Fathom Events has done for years. So.
All right. So I thought this one was interesting because it's related to a video game franchise.
Oh?
Yeah. So, in addition to a recent announcement of a live-action series, global streaming leader Netflix announced that Tokyo Game Show this weekend, I believe it was last weekend,
Yes.
that is bringing Kendra and Redfield into an original animated old with a CG horror action series titled Resident Evil Eternal Darkness, based on the smash hit Capcom games first launched nearly 25 years ago. The show will bring a new thrill to subscribers worldwide in 2021. This is on Netflix, by the way.
Nice.
All right.
If you're a fan of the Resident Evil franchise.
Yeah.
Of course, keep in mind, over in Japan, it's called Biohazard.
That is true. All right. So, last bit of news, and it's very interesting because apparently Disney Pixar is being sued.
For what?
Okay, let me get to that. All right, so Kelly Knievel, son of legendary Daredevil...
Oh, good grief.
Evil Knievel, and head of K&K Promotion, has filed a trademark infringement complaint with federal courts in Las Vegas, claiming that the Walt Disney Company and Pixar Animated Studios announced his late father's apparently used his fake image in the motorcycle riding action character Duke Kaboom in the Oscar-winning 2019 movie Toy Story 4. Yeah, so being voiced by the one and only Christopher Reeve. So apparently,
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves. That's what I meant to say.
You said Christopher Reeves. It'd be a little hard.
Yeah, that would be a little hard. But yeah, apparently they are being sued by the family of the late Evil Knievel.
Here's the thing: Duke Kaboom is not Evil Knievel. He's based on the concept of a Daredevil, and yeah, he used the red, white, and blue costume.
Yeah,
because they all did.
Yeah.
Get over yourself is what I'm saying.
Either way, it'd be like apparently they are being sued. I don't know how far this is going to go in the legal system, but they are being sued. Either way, that is all I have in the news.
Alrighty. So why don't we go ahead and get into our spoiler-free section of our review for the movie Hotel Transylvania 2.
Yes.
I saw this movie when it came out in theaters back in 2015.
Okay.
I then saw part of it in the middle of the Caribbean Sea when I was on a cruise ship a couple years ago.
Yeah, that's right.
I didn't watch the whole thing because I was tired. And I was literally just walking past while it was on. But,
well, you really can't notice them when it's like a...
Well, I mean, I could...
100-foot screen.
If I'd gone through another part of the ship, I would have missed it. But I went up through the pool deck, the Lido deck, which is where the thing was showing.
Right.
So, yeah, I knew of it. And I knew it was on. And anyway... I remember enjoying the show.
Okay.
It was a fun movie when I first watched it. I can tell you, even on that first viewing, I was completely baffled by the 2D credit sequence at the end, because I actually stopped and said, who are these two characters they're showing? Because I do not remember these characters in the movie.
Yeah.
They're in the movie. They're just a short scene and at the very beginning. Very short scene at the very beginning. The magic show?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's where they come from.
Yeah.
They have nothing to do with the rest of the movie, and we don't even get to see our main characters don't even get their credit in the movie because they never show those characters.
That is weird.
It is weird. They do this. I think it's fixed with the third one, but
yeah.
For the second one, they use these two characters, and I didn't know who they were, nor necessarily cared.
Yeah.
But I do remember enjoying the movie. I like how we got the twist ending that we got, and it wasn't some... it felt like it was going towards one type of ending.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, we're actually going to let what everyone has been wanting to happen this whole movie happen instead of this disappointing ending that we were heading for. Plus, you get Mel Brooks in there playing an old vampire.
Yeah.
And you get Frankenstein trying to explain Frankenstein to the guy who directed Young Frankenstein. Which is hilarious.
Yeah, agreed. That is hilarious.
Half expected Vlad to brush Frankenstein off by saying, "Oh, whatever, Frankenstein."
That would have been hilarious.
You still haven't watched that movie?
No, I haven't, but I know the reference.
Okay, then. That needs to be on your list for October.
Okay.
For your 100 movie watch. Okay. That's just all I'm saying. But I enjoyed the movie. It was fun. I've said that too many times already. Yeah, that's essentially my thought. It was a fun, enjoyable movie then and now. So what is your spoiler-free thoughts?
My thoughts, spoiler-free wise, would be like, this is my first viewing. I've never seen this film before. Hint, it's on my 100 list.
Yes.
It was enjoyable. It was fun. It had the exact same zany and goofiness that the original Hotel Transylvania had. For some reason I always got to hit Hotel Transylvania. Either way.
Kind of worked, but kind of didn't.
Yeah, of course. Either way.
What's new?
What's new?
Whoa. Moving on. There wasn't a cat in this movie.
No, yeah. No, but I enjoyed it. There was the ending had me kind of like, okay. I'm kind of torn with the ending. Torn the ending of this film. I enjoyed it. The snot out of the how do I not spoil that through this? But
there's a fight scene at the end is not that much of a spoiler.
Thank you. The fight scene, I love the snot out of it. It was great.
There is a fight scene. We're not telling you who it's between.
Right. It could be between a cat and a dog who turns into vampires. Who knows?
I mean, the wolf pups are involved.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, the wolf pups. Either way, it was enjoyable. There are little problems here and there. Definitely in that the era in which it was made, because there's a lot of tendency in the 2015s to still have that 3D push.
Oh, this was definitely made with 3D in mind. But unlike some other 3D movies we could name.
Yes.
That we've reviewed.
Yes.
This is not in your face. There's some moments where it's like, okay, yeah, that was meant to be the fun 3D thing. But it kind of is still within the borders of the movie the entire time.
Yeah, agreed. So that is my non-spoiler review of this film. So, back to you.
All right, so let's go ahead and move into our spoiler-filled section. On the other side of this message from our sponsors? They're not really sponsors.
Group we're with. Or
Yeah. Join us on the other side after we talk your ears off about our podcast group. How about that?
That'll work.
All right.
Ray. We're wrong? Okay. This podcast is part of Christian Reek Central Network. Wrong.
Hey, Scoop. What are you doing, man?
I don't know. I'm supposed to be reading an ad.
All right, hold on. Give me it.
Okay.
All right. This podcast is part of the Christian Geek Central Network at ChristianGeekCentral.com.
There you can find a collection of blogs and podcasts working together to bring you some of the best content on the web for Christian geeks, such as the Strangers and Aliens podcast. Strangers and Aliens is a conversational podcast and blog that explores the relationship between God and man through the lens of speculative and imaginative fiction, and explores speculative and imaginative fiction through the lens of God's relationship with men. Join Ben, Dr. Jace O'Neill, and Steve McDonald, a trio of Christians who are both fans and creators of story, in their conversation about the intersection of faith and imagination. The following is a spoiler-filled review for the movie Hotel Transylvania 2. Listener discretion is advised. Hotel Transylvania 2 was directed by Genndy Tartakovsky, who is most famous for Samurai Jack, Dexter's Laboratory, and the Powerpuff Girls, plus the 2D Star Wars Clone Wars TV show.
Wow.
You didn't know that?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah. He did all three. He's done all three of the Hotel Transylvania movies that have been released, plus the fourth one that's coming,
Yeah.
and the Hotel Transylvania short, Puppy.
Wow, okay.
He's been involved.
Wow, okay.
This is his baby.
I got you.
Over there at Sony Pictures Animation.
Gotcha.
It was written by Robert Smigel, who was a writer on Saturday Night Live and Late Night with Conan O'Brien, and Adam Sandler, who also wrote Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, and The Waterboy, and it was based on characters created by Todd Durham. The cast, of course, includes Adam Sandler as Dracula. He played Bobby Boucher in The Waterboy and Brenner in Pixels. Andy Samberg as Jonathan. He plays Brent McHale in Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Selena Gomez as Mavis. She played Alex Russo in Wizards of Waverly Place and Betsy in this year's movie Doolittle. Kevin James plays Frankenstein. And he played Paul Blart in Paul Blart Mall Cop, and Doug Heffernan in The King of Queens, and he played the President of the United States in Pixels.
Really? Okay.
It's not that good a movie.
That's what I keep hearing.
The better video game movie that came out that year?
Yeah.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Steve Buscemi plays Wayne. He played Mr. Pink in Reservoir Dogs. And he played Nikita Khrushchev in a movie called The Death of Stalin.
I heard about this movie. It's hysterical.
I haven't seen it, but I saw this. You know, if Steve Buscemi played Nikita Khrushchev, that might just be something to see.
Yeah, cruise stuff.
Khrushchev.
Whichever.
Nikita Khrushchev. Anyway, moving on. David Spade, of course, plays Griffin, which is the Invisible Man. Should point out that Wayne was the Wolfman. He was David Spade was Cusco in The Emperor's New Groove, and he played Joe Dirt in Joe Dirt. Keegan-Michael Key replaced CeeLo Green as Murray the Mummy.
Yeah.
He was Ducky in Toy Story 4, and Kamari in The Lion King, one of the hyenas.
Oh, okay.
Asher Blinkoff played Dennis, or Denisovich, if you prefer.
Yeah.
And he played a young wolf cub in the live-action Jungle Book.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Fran Drescher played Eunice, the Bride of Frankenstein. She played Pamela Finkelstein in UHF, and of course was Fran in The Nanny.
Did I? Never mind. Wrong one.
Please no.
No, never mind. I was getting Steve Urkel mixed up with her.
Yeah, please don't. Molly Shannon played Wanda, the bride of the Wolfman. Was that a thing?
I don't know.
Well, she was the bride of the Wolfman.
Yeah.
She played Gail in Wet Hot American Summer and Mary Catherine Gallagher in Superstar.
Interesting. Oh, okay.
Megan Mullally played Grandma Linda. She played Mrs. Sestero in The Disaster Artist, The Making of the Room.
Right.
And Karen Walker in Will and Grace. That was the rich lady on that show.
Yeah.
Not that I watched the show outside of when I couldn't get to the remote after Frasier went off.
I got you.
Nick Offerman plays Grandpa Mike.
Yeah.
He played Dick McDonald in The Founder, one of the McDonald's brothers.
Right.
And of course, he's Ron Swanson in Parks and Recreation. Dana Carvey plays Dana. He was Garth Algar in Wayne's World and Pistachio Disguisey in The Master of Disguise.
Yeah.
Rob Riggle played Bella. Interestingly enough, he was in the original Hotel Transylvania as the skeleton husband.
Oh, okay.
You know, the skeleton that kept the female skeleton that kept getting they kept looking at her accidentally.
Yeah.
And the husband would come and say, "What is wrong with you?" That was him.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Mel Brooks played Vlad. He played President Scroob and Yogurt in Spaceballs, but might be more familiar to you, my friend, as Professor Max Krassman in The Muppet Movie. That was the evil German scientist who's suspiciously spoken Jewish idioms from time to time.
Yeah, which is weird.
Which was the point.
Yeah, exactly. Because
that's what Mel Brooks, when Mel Brooks plays quote unquote Nazis, he always makes them say Jewish stuff too because it's hilarious.
It's true.
Chris Kattan played Keiki.
Oh gosh, Keiki, yes.
And in the more recent Bunny Cula short series that was on Cartoon Network, he played Bunny Cula. Sadie Sandler reprised her role as Winnie. She is, of course, Adam Sandler's daughter.
Yeah.
But she also played a character named Lemonade Sadie in Pixels.
Okay. Well, that makes sense because Sandler was also in that movie.
Mm-hmm. John Lovitz played the Phantom of the Opera.
Lovitz did?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And he played Ernie Capadino in A League of Their Own and a lot of other things, if I remember correctly. He was one of those guys that's like, oh, it's that guy.
Yeah.
I don't know who his name, and I can't tell you what movie he's from, but it's that guy.
Yeah.
And, of course, that brings us to our Kingdom Hearts connection.
Go figure.
Kirk Thornton was additional voices in this movie, and he plays the character of Syx and Isa, one of the people affected, that was in Organization 13.
Okay.
One of the main characters in Organization 13, I'd like to point out. Axel's best friend, who betrayed him slightly.
Okay.
In the entire Kingdom Hearts franchise, he continues to play the role to this day.
Oh, okay.
Whether it's as Syx or as Isa. And then Jess Harnell and Audrey Wasilewski played additional voices in both Hotel Transylvania 2 and in Kingdom Hearts.
Okay.
So that brings me to the end of my cast list. Info and stuff.
All right. So info and stuff. You can go watch this movie. You were able to buy it or rent it. Because I don't recall that you actually, like, if you have a streaming service, you can get that anywhere.
Outside of Amazon, and I don't know if you have to rent it or not.
Well, Amazon,
you can almost always find stuff.
Yeah. So on Vudu, you can rent it for $2.99, and on YouTube and I think also on Amazon, you can rent it for $3.99.
Okay.
All right. So on IMDb, it has a 6.7 out of 10, and its Rotten Tomatoes score is a 56.
It's not that bad.
No, it's not middle of the road. All right, so production,
I meant the movie was not that bad.
No, the movie wasn't that bad. It wasn't.
Anyway.
Like I say, it was kind of like their score was like middle of the road.
I blame the 2D animation during the credits. Moving on.
Agreed. Either way, production was done by Columbia Pictures, Sony Pictures Animation, and L Star Capital. Mm-hmm. Distributed by Sony Pictures, and Columbia Pictures.
Okay.
All right, its release date was September 25th, 2015. Box office, it had an estimated budget of $80 million. Good budget. Mm-hmm. All right, so its opening U.S. release, which was on September 27th, $48.4 million.
Okay.
So yeah, it underperformed a little. All right, so its U.S. domestic gross was $169.7 million. Definitely made its money back. Mm-hmm. So its worldwide gross was $475.8 million. This movie made its money back in bats. All right, so due to me being distracted, surprise to no one, I forgot to put other stuff on here, but that is all I've got right now.
All right, let's jump into the summary. After the events of the first film, Mavis and her new fiancé Johnny are finally married with the approval of her father Dracula, and the world becomes aware and unafraid of the existence of monsters. Mavis later reveals to Drac that she is pregnant, and later she gives birth to a baby boy named Dennis. As Dennis's 5th birthday nears, he has yet to grow his fangs, and Drac worries that his grandson might not gain vampire powers. Noticing the potential dangers of Transylvania, Mavis starts to consider raising Dennis where Johnny grew up, much to Drac's disapproval. Drac tells Johnny, who does not want to leave the hotel either, to bring Mavis to California to visit his parents, Mike and Linda, but to make sure to keep her distracted so that she will not move, leaving Drac to babysit Dennis. Drac enlists his friends Frank, Wayne, Griffin, Murray, and Blobby to help train Dennis to become a monster, to no avail. Drac takes Dennis to his childhood summer camp, Camp Winnipecaca, where he learned to hone his vampire abilities and discover that the camp is safer than it was when he went there. Drac stubbornly believes Dennis is a late fanger as he hurls Dennis from a tall, unstable tower to pressure the boy's transformation into a bat. Dennis, however, does not transform, and Drac has to fly down and rescue him at the last second. The stunt is filmed by the campers and uploaded to the internet, which eventually reaches Johnny and Mavis. Mavis angrily transforms into a bat and to get herself and Johnny back to Transylvania because that was faster than actually taking the plane. Drac and his friends reach the hotel a couple seconds after Mavis. She confronts her father for putting Dennis in grave danger and his inability to accept that he is human. She states that she will move out of the hotel after Dennis's 5th birthday the following Wednesday. Drac hangs his head with deep guilt after Mavis tells him that he may have let humans into the hotel but hasn't let them into his heart. Mavis invites Vlad, her grandfather and Drac's father, to Dennis's birthday party. As Vlad is much worse than he was when it comes to humans, Drac tells Johnny to have the human party-goers disguise themselves as monsters. Vlad receives the invitation and arrives with his monstrous bat-like servant, Bella, to meet his great-grandson for the first time. Meeting him, he believes that fear will cause Dennis's fangs to sprout and possesses a stage performer dressed as Dennis's favorite TV monster, Cakey the Cake Monster, to scare Dennis. But Drac shields his frightened grandson at the last moment, breaks Had's hold over the performer, and exposes the deception to Vlad, who is outraged that Drac has accepted humans as guests in his hotel and let Johnny and Dennis be human. Drac confronts Vlad about how humans are different now. Mavis becomes upset with her grandfather's behavior. When the family argues, Dennis sadly flees the hotel and enters the forest with Wayne's daughter Winnie, who has a crush on Dennis, in tow, hiding in her treehouse. They are attacked by Bella, who mistakes Dennis for a human. When Bella injures Winnie and threatens to destroy the hotel, Dennis's anger causes him to instantly grow his fangs and his vampire abilities manifest. He begins to fight Bella, who calls his giant bat minions, and Drac, Johnny, Mavis, Dennis The Logren family and the rest of the monsters team up to defeat Bella's minions and drive them away. A livid Bella then attempts to kill Johnny himself with a stake. However, having been won over by Drax's claim that humans now coexist peacefully, Vlad shrinks Bella and tells him never to bother his family again, saving Johnny. Bella then tries to flee, but is caught and licked excessively by the werewolf pups. With Dennis having vampire abilities, Johnny and Mavis decide to continue raising him in Transylvania, and they resume the party with his friends and family. Jacob,
Yes.
what is your first like for this movie?
Okay, so I had a different answer for my first one, but when you were going through the synopsis, this instantly popped in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of my favorite moments. It's where, wow. After the birth, and so Dracula is not allowed in the operating room, but the birthing room.
Mm-hmm.
So he does the one thing that obviously he's going to do. He cross-dresses as a nurse. And I find that hilarious when he's holding little Dennis and he's like his whole charade is hysterical. I'm laughing the entire time. And so he like, and Mavis obviously knows it's her dad. He's like, no, I'm not your father. I'm this. It's hilarious. Yes. It's the one that got me was hilarious.
Now let me ask you this. With us having to have gotten used to wearing masks.
Yeah.
Did you happen to notice that Drac is wearing his wrong?
Yes,
because it's not covering his big nose.
No, it's not. That's a very big nose to cover.
Yeah, and it probably would not make the mask work, but still, he did technically fail to cover his face correctly.
That is true. But the scene was hilarious.
Oh, yes.
Definitely when he's it's I can't remember. It's Johnny or Mavis says, because Johnny's an idiot. So one of them says, "Be like, you look pretty good as a woman," and obviously
it's Johnny.
Johnny, of course, Johnny's gonna say that. So the zombie comes by and he like licks, he shoots and like it just I was like, oh my gosh, this is hysterical. I loved it. I love that scene. So it's definitely Drac cross-dressing as a nurse.
Drac?
Yeah, Drac. There we go. Title.
No, that's not the title.
Either way, that was hysterical, and I loved it to pieces. Probably the best part of the film to me. There's a lot of really good animation parts in here, but that was hysterical. What is your number one?
My number one is the scene that made me go watch this movie in the first place so many years ago. Mm-hmm. The first teaser trailer I saw for this is essentially the entire scene where Dracula throws Dennis off the tower.
Oh, yes.
And the other monsters are going, he's
shot.
not going to fly. Right. He's not going to fly. He says, yes, he will. He will fly. And it keeps going back and forth until finally he says, you know what? Dennis is not going to make it. And he flies down there to get him at the same time. And it's like, that is hilarious.
Yes.
They went there. They literally, I know it's a kid's show.
Oh, yeah.
And it's animation, so no one was actually in danger. But they actually showed someone throw a child off of a comically high tower to essentially his death.
Pretty much.
And they use this as advertising for the movie at the teaser trailer stage. Meaning, since it was the first trailer, it was the trailer everybody showed, because half the time they don't show the full trailer at movies anymore.
True.
At least not around here.
Yeah, that's also be like if you bring it back in the movie, in that scene in particular, the way they did that the tower scene, they literally made a section and then just
copy and pasted it up
until
it was high enough.
Yeah, exactly. That scene is hilarious. Definitely when come on,
Drac.
No, not
Dennis. Frankenstein.
Frankenstein,
yes.
When Frankenstein gets the package.
And the whole tower crashes, and then, because Frankenstein's afraid of fire, and now he's on fire, he runs through the entire wooden camp, burning, catching every piece of camp
structure
building
on fire.
On fire. It's like, and then of course the kids, the way kids will do.
Oh, yeah.
All suddenly have marshmallows on sticks, and they're going to go roast them.
Yeah.
After they've gone ahead and filmed the whole thing so that Mavis can see it and done a remix video.
Yeah.
Which for some reason, I'll say the pictures of, oh shoot, what's his name?
Drac?
No. Well, Drac's in the remix video, but they also show Cesar Romero as the Joker for a split second.
That's right.
For some reason. But then there's 2 shots of Gene Wilder as Dr. Frankenstein from Young Frankenstein. And you're going, why are those there? I don't care. That's funny.
That was funny. That was very funny.
That is just the funniest sequence of events, and it doesn't get any better anywhere else in the film, really, until you get to my number 2.
I got you.
So, Jacob, what is your number 2?
Okay, so my number 2 would probably be the, oh gosh, how do I phrase this correctly? There are some pieces of animation in this movie that are solid gold, complete solid gold. The dance scene where Dennis and Drac are trying to get his grandson to turn into a vampire, and that whole dance-off move with how the animator who did that, be like, if you go back and listen to the director's cut, the director's
commentary.
Director's commentary. Thank you. It's because it's just one guy, and I can't remember his name, but he's the one who animated it, and it's done beautifully because obviously it's set to, it's supposed to be geared towards 3D.
Yeah. It's kind of obvious it is, but it works even in 2D.
Oh, it works beautifully in 3D. It's just like, wow, okay. Someone really knew all these great, dynamic poses of how to shoot this. And just the angles and everything is beautiful. And there's some scenes where, like, they're in the car. They're in the car, the carriage, the motorized carriage. And this, like, their expression, like, definitely Drac's expressions are, like, so just out there, like all like. I can also go into my number 3 with that. I'm not going to go there, but it also involves the big battle at the very end.
Oh, well, that's my number 2.
Okay, so yeah, so
we'll just go into mine. My number 2 is the battle at the end because not only do we get the family threesome kicking butt together as bats, we do get Dracula doing some. The way Dracula would fight, where he freezes everybody in time after they're aiming towards him, walks away, and then steps back into scene long enough to snap his fingers for them to all hit at the same time. Then you've got Mavis, I think for the first time using any of the psychokinetic powers to do anything. Well, she doesn't turn into a mouse.
I thought she turned into a mouse.
Yeah, she did turn into a mouse, but while she's in that form, she does use her psychic or vampire magic stuff to make the ruins behind the guy float into the air and then crash down on him. And then, of course, you got Denisovich, as I'm going to refer to him, kicking butt. And, of course, when Drac looks like a bat, he looks like a bat, but with red eyes.
Yeah.
When Mavis is a bat, she's a bat with blue eyes. And, of course, Dennis, as a bat, has also blue eyes, like his mother, but he also has his father's orange afro.
Yes.
Which fits. I'm just going to say it fits.
Yes.
And that the entire sequence from Bela, which, by the way, named after Bela Lugosi, the original actor who played Dracula.
Yes.
From when he starts tearing down the roof of Winnie's treehouse, until Vlad comes in and says, "Never come near me or my family again." That entire sequence of the film is beautifully animated, and you know who animated that stuff? Same guy who did the dance scene.
Yeah, exactly.
By himself.
Oh yeah, really?
Yes. Oh. Also, you get Frankenstein doing some cool stuff.
Yeah.
You get the Wolfman trying and then doing what he should always do in this case, call in the wolf pups.
Yes.
And you even see my favorite part in the background. You see a wave of them crash over one of the guys.
Yes.
It's like, you know what? That's not technically possible, but it's hilarious.
Yeah. It's like a swarm of locusts, but it's wolf pups.
Yes.
It's hilarious.
It's like, oh, Zerg Rush.
Exactly.
That whole sequence is just brilliantly done.
Yes,
and
agreed.
I prefer it to, I would say, even the dance scene at the end of the movie, because that's just eh.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that
Shrek.
sequence is just so much fun, and I enjoyed it immensely. What is your third like?
You just stole it right there.
The fight scene?
The fight scene.
I had a feeling that was going to be one of ours.
The scene is so well choreographed, animated. Like you said, it's by that one guy, which I wish I knew his name. Just give him a big shout out on that one. That was amazing. So let me see if I can point out some different but oh my word, how it's animated beautifully. How Dennis or Denis
Ovich.
Okay.
Just call him Dennis.
I'm going to call him Dennis because I'm going to obviously say that wrong.
Yes, it can be said horribly wrong.
Yes, exactly. I'm afraid I'm going to say it wrong.
Yes.
But wow, just the fact to be like that's what got him to transform into a.
It makes sense.
It does make sense.
She has a crush on him.
Yeah.
He obviously has a crush on her.
Yeah.
They're probably not old enough to zing yet.
Yeah.
Even though she keeps calling him her zing.
Yeah.
Which is cute.
Yeah, that is
Let's
cute.
be honest. That whole relationship is just cute.
It is very cute.
But the fact that she got hurt, that's what's going to finally, or he thinks she might have gotten hurt. She's in danger either way.
Yeah.
It's like, I need to step up. He literally does get the fang scared out of him.
Yeah.
But it's not in the way that he feels like he's protecting himself, like maybe Vlad or Drac probably had to do.
Right.
It's to protect others, which that's Johnny's blood all over.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just how he would think.
Exactly. And the fact to be like the entire movie, he's be like, "Oh, I'm Batman. I'm Batman."
Yes.
And that I was like, "Wow, how did you get the rights to use Batman so many times in this movie?"
Yeah, but did you? Okay,
but
this is not my third like.
Okay.
I just want to point this out.
Yeah.
Throughout the entire movie, he's first talking about being a bat superhero Batman.
Yeah.
But at his birthday party, when he's in his quote unquote Batman suit,
Yeah.
he's quoting Dracula from earlier in the film,
That's right, he is.
which shows who he actually thinks as a superhero has already changed.
Yeah.
To his grandfather.
Yeah,
His
agree with
his
that.
vampire.
His vampire. Yeah. But just the fact that how Dennis be like transformed, be like all his moves are I'm like, this is a little 5-year-old. And he is wailing everybody. It's like, oh my word, this is awesome. But yes, that is my number 3.
My number 3, I'm actually going to have to combine a couple of semi-unrelated things.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of this film I actually do like.
Yeah.
First thing. The scene with Mavis on the half pipes.
Oh gosh, yes.
That is so much fun. It adds
Yeah.
nothing to the movie other than it shows Mavis letting her hair down.
Yeah.
Since she's not having to be the overprotective mother. She's able to be the Mavis we saw in the first film.
Yes.
So it's fun to see that. I love the thing in when they go visit Jonathan's when they go into Jonathan's room.
Yeah.
And they've got his side on the other stuff, and they've thrown a bunch of Halloween decorations to try and make her feel more at home. Plus, they invite a guy who looks suspiciously like your brother and to the party and claim he's a werewolf, and he's like, I am not a werewolf.
He might be a small giant.
Maybe. Or a large dwarf.
Yeah, that's that too.
I also like the wedding scene at the beginning.
Yeah, that was done very well.
If I'm going to actually... The thing I like, I think, the most out of all these little things I have brought up, it's actually the fact that we were able to get the first 5 years... Well, not just the first 5 years. We were able to go from the wedding of Jonathan and Mavis to, a week before Dennis's 5th birthday.
Yeah.
Without someone having to explain all this stuff that happened or showing a montage that was too quick for us to care about it. We actually got a montage. It was just a 5 to 10 minute montage where we actually get to see all these great moments given all their all the detail they deserve and all the attention they deserve, showing a good 2 or 3 minutes at the wedding, including a very cute scene where Dracula is watching his daughter come down the aisle in her wedding dress, and then it shifts to her as a little girl, the little girl he always sees.
Yeah, exactly. That
was brilliant, and it was done so well, and they did not have to hit you over the head with it.
No, they didn't.
So many of these films like to hit you over the head with this sort of thing. This is like, we're going to show it, and of course it was immediately preceded by the nice, cute little girl as the flower.
Oh, gosh.
Before she gets mauled, essentially, by the wolf pups. And we get a nice early call up to Vlad and how much he exists, but he's probably not good in the environment they're now in. We get there's so many little things that I love about this little bit. All the little bitty scenes is what I would call my number 3. They're not things that I would say is by themselves alike, but the fact that there is all this detail, how well put together, I guess is what I'm trying to say, how well put together the movie as a whole is my third like.
Okay.
So, now that I've gushed, now that you've gushed, we've now got to trash, I suppose. What is your first dislike for this movie?
All right. So, ever since the movie was particularly designed for 3D. So, when you're watching it in a 2D standard, now granted, in high definition, but it's so obvious that the background and the foreground do not meet.
Yeah.
It's so very. I mean, like, you get the park scene, which is great. They all blend in together. But then you get the scene where it's Drac and all the characters be like, they're the parents are leaving for Drac can get his grandson to pop his fangs out.
Yeah.
That little road trip. It's. I mean, like, I'm watching this and I'm like, oh my word. Be like, they are literally sitting on a different plane. They're not. It's literally a background, and your characters are sitting in the foreground. It's like, this is designed for 3D, but it's
not correctly.
But not
3D.
Correctly. It's not correctly in 3D.
You probably agree with me, and that the way to do 3D is to set it up like you normally would.
Yeah.
But render it twice, one from a left eye and one from a right eye.
Right.
You get the depth, and it's not exaggerated depth. That's how you're supposed to do it.
Exactly.
With a live action film, you would literally have 2 cameras right next to each other the whole time. In this, you've got to render the scene twice from 2 slightly different angles.
Right.
And you can still do a lot of the cartoony stuff they do in this film.
Yeah.
Which I like. And it's still work in 3D well. It's just not exaggerated 3D.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So that was one of my nitpicks, is like there's so many scenes where be like the background and the foreground are just completely separate. And they're like, it's like you could have like you said, one pass and another pass for 3D, but that's what we have. And so that's one of my nitpicks about it. So what's your number 1?
My first dislike for the movie, I do not like Jonathan's parents.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Nick Offerman, great in his role.
Yeah.
Linda, oh goodness, I want her to die in a fire.
Wow, okay.
She's annoying.
Agreed.
I know her idea is that essentially she's Karen, the internet personality type known as the Karen.
Yeah.
That's essentially what she is.
Yeah.
And that character is annoying, and I get the jokes, and I can tell she's trying, but she doesn't know how to actually do it. She's trying to do, and she says stuff that's like, you know what, I just want to punch you in the face. I just do not like that character.
Okay.
It grates on my ever-loving nerve, and that's not the only character I hate.
Okay.
But more on that in my second
I got
dislike. What is your second dislike?
My second dislike, Flubby.
Blobby?
Blobby.
Not Flobby. That would be copywritten by Disney because it's Flubber.
Yeah, that's right.
But Blobby, on the other
Yeah,
hand...
Blobby is just literally a Deus Ex Machina character. Be like
he's not even a Deus Ex Machina character.
Well, he comes to the aid at the very end to help them get back to Transylvania.
And
but he does nothing in the film. He sits there and be like, "Oh, he's the very
comic relief
he's
up
the
till
comedy relief
up till they bring him back as a joke, and then they actually do have to try and get back on a rascal scooter."
Yeah, which is like, really?
It's like, you know what? That might work. No, that won't work.
Won't work.
You are too far away from the hotel
to
get back there on a rascal scooter. I don't care how magically electrified it is.
Yeah.
Because it had to have been to go as far as it did.
Oh, yeah.
But
to me, Flubby was just...
Blobby.
Flobby.
Blobby.
Okay. Blobby. Okay. Blobby was a waste of a character. I understand he was a comedy relief, but you had so much comedy relief within the cast itself.
You didn't need Blobby.
You didn't need Blobby.
The only thing you needed Blobby there for was to provide the joke at the end. And you could have done that, I think, with just having a rascal scooter or a Segway that happened to be there at the camp and that they took.
Yeah.
You could have done the same joke.
Oh yeah.
Like the only thing you couldn't do was the thing where they inflated Blobby, and you get the world's longest fart joke all the way back to the hotel.
That is true. So yeah, waste of a character. Mm-hmm. Waste of a character. So that's my number 2. What is your number? Dos?
The Phantom of the Opera.
Oh yeah.
I hated this character too.
I think he was designed to be annoying, and he succeeded tremendously.
I will grant you. He's obviously based on the character from the musical.
Yeah.
Except I think the character in the musical is more enjoyable than the character in this movie. Because he is just playing the organ and singing along to all the jokes that's happening in the background.
Yeah.
The only good line he's got is when... the other character I hate asks Mavis how she lost her mother, and she says, "Oh, she was killed by a pack of angry humans." And the Phantom goes, "Awkward." That's the only funny joke he's got.
Agreed.
And that's the only time it's like, that's just another punchable Karen moment.
Yes.
Just remember that's essentially what that character is.
Oh gosh, yes.
To my cousin Karen, I'm not talking about you.
Okay. No offense, Karen.
No offense. I don't even know if she listens. She probably doesn't now.
It's like, wait, you're talking about me? What?
Yeah, that's my second dislike. Is that character is a joke that never should have been made.
Agreed.
What is your third dislike?
My third dislike, now this might be a little unpopular. So we're leading up to this film we have the fact that little Dennis, at the age of 4.5, has not popped things yet. Mm-hmm. And apparently Drac was a late fanger. That's the word. And I was like, okay, because you have daughter's name.
Mavis? She
And
probably takes after her mother.
Yeah, it takes more of her mother. But my thought was, because to me, Drac the entire time is be like, I want my grandson to be a vampire. Like, it's always that push. I be like, yeah, he's very. The hotel is up to humans. Mm-hmm. Like, Mavis says later on, it's like, be like, yeah, but you haven't let humans be like, yeah, you've let vampires into the hotel, but you haven't allowed them to your heart.
Can I defend Dracula on that point?
Okay.
It's not a good defense.
Okay.
Because ultimately it is putting one's own thoughts ahead of what might be best for the child.
Yeah, his own desires.
Right. But I think the reason his desires for Dennis to be a vampire has more to do with the fact that he wants the best for his grandson, and that's the best he knows he can give him. Hmm. And if he doesn't get that, he doesn't know how he can help his grandson. Hmm. Honestly, that's how I look at it.
Okay. Well,
it's not that he's... I don't even think it's that he is really racist against humans.
Yeah.
Like it kind of looks like.
Yeah.
He just wants what's best for his grandson, and honestly, let's face it. I mean, how many men want boys want sons?
Yeah.
Instead of daughters.
Right.
It's that same kind of thing, except if Dennis ended up being human, he would have loved to have learned, just like we see before, like he says at the end, Dennis, it never mattered if you were a human, a vampire, or a unicorn. You were perfect the way you were.
Right. I agree with that.
He realized that before he ever saw Dennis turn into a vampire. He was already cool.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with you.
It took Dracula to see his father nearly hurt Dennis accidentally for him to realize that.
Oh, yeah. I agree with you on that. I agree with you in that. The fact that Dennis did turn into, he's part vampire, or he's fully vampire.
Yeah. We have no idea if he's a daywalker or not.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
I don't think they show that either in Puppy or 3.
Yeah. It might be in 4. You never know. That'd be an interesting little twist. But the fact that when it comes to the fight, when it comes to the battle at the very end of the film, which there again we pointed out our second and third likes.
Yes.
That the battle is incredible. The fact that when Drac sees his grandson has transformed into a vampire, he is overexcited.
Well, yes, it's what he secretly wants.
Yeah, it's
not secretly. It's what he's wanted the whole movie. So of course he's excited. Did you catch who else was excited?
Yeah,
Mavis.
Yeah, Mavis.
She was excited too, because as much as she was sacrificing her wants to put her son first, but when she sees he's vampire, she has relief. Yeah, because every single problem she has in this movie is solved by that.
Yeah, agree.
She doesn't have to go to California where she doesn't feel like she fits in.
Yeah,
she's feels safe that her son will be safe at the hotel.
Yeah,
and is not going to get hurt by the wolf pups. Really is what I think she's more worried about than anything else.
Right,
and pretty much he's going to be fine.
Yeah.
But up until the point, she was still worried he's going to be human, and we've got to make allowances for him being human.
Yeah.
Drac was worried he was going to be human and was worried he wouldn't be able to connect.
That could be. But at the same time, he was already...
That's my thought.
Yeah, but he was already connecting with, like, everybody in the hotel.
Right.
Be
but
like, he loved monsters. He loved the wolf pack.
Yes, Dennis had adjusted already completely. Yeah. But how many times do our kids better adjusted to the action than the parents are?
That is true.
Just saying. Just putting that out there.
That is true. But also to put the point I was going to, the fact that Drac wanted this so much because he didn't want anybody to leave. No. It's exactly. Not the fact of the control, but it's the fact.
It was up until Mavis mentioned the possibility of moving.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
Drac just was wanting what was best for his grandson, as far as he knew.
Yeah.
The minute that happens, like, I'm about to lose my connection with my daughter, my son-in-law, and my grandson. Yeah. And I may never get to see them again because they're going to go to a place I would not be able to go because I have to keep the hotel going. Yeah. I have to run the hotel.
But
to the point where the creation he made to protect his daughter is now keeping him from being with his grandson.
Yeah. But at the same time, like, even...
Just putting this in 3 dimensions.
Oh, yeah, exactly. But in that same breath, that Mavis says, be like, oh, yeah, we're going to come visit every holiday. We're going to call Grandpa every night. Mm-hmm. But there was no loss in the connection. But
there's a difference when you can't be there.
Oh, yeah, I completely understand that.
You're so used to spending every day together to all of a sudden you're half a world apart, in essence.
Yeah.
And
you are half a world apart.
Exactly. And not being able to see each other every day. There's one thing COVID has taught us is how important connections are.
Agreed.
I was just putting that out there.
I agreed with that. It's just, to me, it was... watching it for the first time. Now, granted, probably when I go watch through a second time, I probably won't have that. I'll probably have the perspective, but given more, it's like, okay, this is more Drac wanting everything. But I found it more that everything, like, it was all Drac's desires.
Yes.
Be like, it was like, it's what I want to happen. And it was, to me, it was more that selfishness. That selfishness within Drac himself.
Yeah.
But that's where I wanted to get at, was this Drac's selfishness about everything, because he was going to lose everything, and he was very protective of that, and thus it was more of a, like, almost a not a desire, but rather a selfish desire for everything to continue the way it is, and understanding things must move on, but Drac doesn't want things to move on.
Keeping my mouth shut for the third movie.
Okay. Yeah, we'll
get there when we get there.
What is your number
my
three?
third dislike? Much like I had to cheat with my third like, I kind of have to cheat with my third dislike.
Okay.
But admittedly, one's more of a nitpick.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with the non-nitpick first.
Okay.
Mel Brooks is criminally unused for the breadth of this movie.
Agreed.
And it only gets worse in the third.
Oh, wow.
Just putting that out there.
Okay.
Mel Brooks is an amazing comedic actor. Yes, he's older. He's of a different generation, but he is probably one of the funniest movie makers ever, in my opinion. And his scenes in this movie, as short as they are, as few as they are some of the best points in this movie that are not action scenes.
Yeah.
His turnaround is way too fast.
Agreed.
His scenes are way too quick for a character whose job is to actually move slowly, and he only gets one moment in the fight, which is when he shrinks Bella down and says, "Never come near me or my family again."
Yeah.
But because of that quick turnaround, it does not feel genuine.
Agreed.
And that bugs me. I enjoy Mel Brooks as an actor. I think he's funny.
Yeah.
And I just wish we got more of him in the movie. Now, admittedly, he's got about as big a roles he's gotten in any movie I've ever seen him in.
Yeah.
But if we're going to have him in the movie and he's going to play as pivotal role as Vlad is, Vlad needs to be in the movie more. I'm not saying you've got to throw in a lot more scenes. He needs to be introduced physically, visually, sooner in the film.
Agreed.
I don't know how you do that right. I don't know if you have a couple of cutaway scenes where he's talking to Bella and says, "My grandson doesn't invite me to anything, blah, blah, blah." That would be funny.
That would be funny.
That's where the blah, blah, blah comes from.
Exactly.
But we don't get to say that much. And then there's my nitpick.
Okay.
Where's Transylvania? Ish.
Oh, we're talking about geographically.
Where is roundabouts? Where in the world is Transylvania? You don't have to be exact.
Oh, we're talking about, like, it's in between Europe and
okay, it's in Germany. It's a state in Germany.
That's right. It is close to Austria.
You could have just said Europe, and I would have taken it.
Okay.
By the way,
Yeah, I was trying.
For the point I'm making,
Yes.
Europe would have worked.
Yeah.
Where is California?
On the other side of the planet.
So then I ask you, why was it nighttime at the same time on both sides of the planet?
Good point. I never when I saw it,
why?
I was like, "What? Hold on."
And why does it happen to be nighttime for her entire flight from LAX to the hotel in bat form, which had to take in more than 8 hours? I'm just saying.
Yeah. She can't fly supersonic.
No, she can't. I know this is a cartoon, and I know I'm not supposed to think about it too hard.
You're a critic.
But I can't look at it and go, it's nighttime forever in this world, except when they land at what is obviously not LAX. Because they show LAX later.
Yeah.
They show them landing at a pedunk little airport in the middle of Pewaddle-Doodle, California. I don't know where it is. It's just obviously not Los Angeles.
Yeah, but it's still nighttime, or it's dusk.
Daytime when they land. It's dusk in the car in the next scene.
Oh, wow, you're right.
Logic? There needs to be some, even in a cartoon, there needs to be logic. I need to be able to get from point A at the beginning of the movie to point B at the end of the movie and not have to wonder how we got... You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There should be a through line that I can easily look at from point A to point Z, we'll say.
Yeah. That
goes through points B through Y.
Agreed.
That should be in a movie, and there should never be a point where you go, now what day is it? How many days have passed?
Yeah.
Well, maybe not how many days have passed, because there's plenty of movies where the time being fluid works.
Yeah.
This is not one of them, because we have a week. Mm-hmm. They say it's a week from the time she leaves till
and all your
fight
scenes
at the end. There is a week of time that passes, and I can't tell you when those days pass.
Yeah, it seemed like just like a day.
And how many times did she call him on the phone and it was nighttime on both screens?
Yeah.
Look, I don't know precisely what time of year this movie takes place.
Yeah.
So if it is in the winter, which it don't look like considering they go to a summer camp, there is probably only, on average, 12 hours. If this is at the equinox, let's just say this. If it's the equinox, there is an equal amount of 12 hours on the from nighttime from dusk until dawn.
Yes.
Pardon the pun.
Yeah.
But there's an equal number of 12 hours.
Pun taken.
The only way that works is if the sun is about to rise in California and is about to set in Transylvania.
Yeah.
And that means the sun is on over Asia, is over the Atlantic coast and over the United States at that point in time. It's the only way that works. And that's not what they show.
No, it's not.
Anyway, this has been Drew's nitpick hour.
So you did bring up a good point. The fact to be like there's the point where Mavis has to go drop Dennis off somewhere, and you see her putting on sunscreen
at 3 a.m.
At 3 a.m.
They say it's 3 a.m. because he had to sleep till 2, and they were going to go to the Wolf Pup's birthday party, or 5 of the Wolf Pup's birthday party, which was still going on after she nearly destroyed it.
Yeah. Now I would assume that party probably took a couple of hours.
Oh, with the Wolf Pups, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm surprised the piñata wasn't already destroyed by the time they got there.
Right. Just
why was it hanging up if the Wolf Pups destroy everything they look at?
That is true. That is a good another nitpick. Thank you.
That's not really a nitpick. That's just a thought that crossed my mind just now.
All right. So my bonus little nitpick. Johnny's still an idiot.
That's the point of his character.
I realized that.
Did you realize his backpack was his best man at the wedding?
I saw that.
That's hilarious.
I realized that's hilarious.
Also, kudos for on the wedding pictures having both Mavis and Drac disappear when the picture was taken.
That was a good picture.
That was fun. That was clever.
Yeah, that was very clever.
Thank you for vampire lore consistency.
Yes. Yeah. So just more like I've never liked Johnny as a character. Be like, yeah, I understand. Be like, well, I think I'm a loser and all. Mm-hmm. But like, I can never do anything right. So I went on a backpacking adventure around the world and stumbled into Transylvania.
Spoiler alert: you will not like him in the third movie either.
Okay, gotcha. So that'll be another dislike.
When we get there next year. This time next year. Because let's face it, we're not going to do this again. Do the next movie till next year.
Yeah, that'll.
And somewhere between here and there, we've got to throw in a short
for
Puppy.
Puppy.
I think that's the name of it.
It's Puppy. This is going to be interesting.
Yes.
Either way, so I think we have rounded out our likes and dislikes.
Yes. When we need to put a rating on this bad boy.
Okay.
What's your rating?
My rating is...
I was about to give mine. I thought, well, no, you've been going first this whole time. Let's keep it going.
All right. So my rating is a 7.5.
Nice.
Yeah, it's still enjoyable, entertaining film. There are a lot, like you said, time zone continuums are a pain in the neck in this movie.
Time zones? What are those?
Yeah, what are those? What is time in this movie anyway? But like, I'm giving it a 7.5. It is a good movie. It's a good movie. It's entertaining. Timelines be darned in this movie. Time itself be darned. A lot of weird decisions went in this film. But like, it's a good film. Great animation, amazing funny moments.
Mm-hmm.
Time is a problem in this movie apparently, and yeah, so it's 7.5.
I'm gonna give it an 8.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff I didn't mention that I liked about the movie.
Okay.
Such as the cutaway jokes to Griffin working as a dance instructor.
Right.
That's funny.
That was funny.
Bigfoot helping a soccer team win the world the World Cup.
I found that annoying.
That was funny.
Okay.
Because all we ever see of Bigfoot is his foot.
Yeah.